Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
Tying down your Sechach so it does not fly away with the wind. It often happens throughout the holiday of Sukkot that due to the change of weather, the start of the fall season, start of rain in many areas of the world including Eretz Yisrael, the change of weather brings along with it also gusts of wind, which often can topple down the sukkahs and deem them invalid. So in this halacha we will discuss the necessity of fastening down your Sechach to your sukkah in a way that it will not blow away and make the sukkah invalid, and how this can be done in a halachically permissive manner. So first let's clarify the real danger, halachic danger that is, that wind poses towards your Sechach and how it can invalidate your sukkah. You see, the wind doesn't have to flat out knock down your entire sukkah to deem it invalid as it's no longer up, or fly away your entire Sechach to deem the sukkah invalid. But even if a little bit of wind comes and folds your Sechach, makes it roll on top of each other in a way that it is now distanced from the wall, it is possible that the sukkah now becomes invalid. How? As a sukkah must contain at least 3 or 2.5 walls. And a wall is only valid if the Sechach is within 3 tfachim, which is 24 centimeters, from the wall. So let's say I have a sukkah made of 3 walls. The wind came and rolled the Sechach entirely away from one of those 3 walls, and it is now further distanced than 24 centimeters from that wall. What has halachically happened here is that although it looks like I have 3 walls, that wall that no longer has Sechach within its 3 tfachim is invalid. Meaning it's as if it's not there, and it's as if I only have a sukkah of 2 walls, and therefore the whole sukkah is invalid. Meaning not only you're not allowed to eat under that area that no longer has Sechach, but the entire sukkah becomes puzzle and you can't eat inside of it. So too, even if you have a sukkah of 4 walls, if the Sechach rolled from 2 sides of the sukkah and is a distance of 24 centimeters from each wall, then again it would only be left with 2 walls and would be invalid. And therefore these are the common reasons that it is an absolute necessity prior to Yantif or during Chol Hamoed, if one didn't do so prior to Yantif, to fasten down his Sechach so it doesn't blow away with the wind. While during the weekday of Chol Hamoed, one can simply replace the Sechach near the wall if it blew away, on Shabbos and Yantif it is forbidden to do so due to the oil prohibition and the muktzah prohibition, and therefore one would have no option but to eat by somebody else's sukkah. And thus it's extremely important to pay attention to this prior to the start of Yantif and Shabbos Chol Hamoed. Now that we've discussed the reason for the necessity of fastening down your Sechach, let's discuss how it's allowed halachically to be done. You see, many people know of the need to fasten down the Sechach due to wind. However, they don't know how to do so. As one of the major halachic issues that we face when it comes to fortifying the Sechach against wind is the halachically valid method that it can be done in. As you see, it's forbidden to use any material that's not kosher for Sechach as a fastener of your Sechach to the sukkah. So while in normal construction you would simply take some nails and bang down the roofing onto the walls and therefore it won't go anywhere with the wind, you can't do that with Sechach. You can't take nails and bang them into your wooden boards. You can't take rope, regular synthetic rope, and tie down your Sechach to the frames, as it's forbidden to use material that's puzzle, that's invalid for Sechach, to fortify and support your Sechach. So too, I can't take a metal chair and put it on top of my Sechach to weigh it down, as metal is invalid for Sechach. So what can I do? So while these restrictions extremely limit our ability of securing the Sechach to the walls of the sukkah, nevertheless, the following options are halachically available and should be used by everybody. And those options are as follows. Number 1, the prohibition of using non-kosher for Sechach material to fasten your Sechach only applies to the Sechach itself. However, the wooden boards that are used typically on top of the frame of the sukkah to support your Sechach that hold it up, that may be fastened down and even hammered down with any material of your liking. So if you have wooden walls, you can use nails to bang the wooden boards into the wall so they don't move with the wind. If you have a metal frame of a metal sukkah, then you can use any type of rope or plastic cable ties to fasten the boards onto the frame. This is the first step in securing the support of the Sechach. Now let's go on to the Sechach itself. After I have fastened my boards onto the sukkah walls the way we've explained, and I place my Sechach on top, there's a few options of how to then fasten the schach. One simple way is by taking wooden boards, the same ones you use to support the schach from under the schach, and throw them on top of your schach to weigh the schach down. Unlike a common misconception, there's absolutely no halachic issue with using kosher for schach material to weigh down your schach. The only problem with this option is that if you have a really strong gust of wind, it'll knock down both your schach and the wooden board, and that can cause injury to someone, chas v'sholem. The second option is to use kosher for schach material rope to tie down your schach to the wooden boards and hence fasten it. Nonetheless, this option too can only be used as a last resort, being that these types of ropes that are made of kosher for schach material are usually not able to be processed properly, otherwise they would then be invalid, and therefore are not very effective. So our last and best option that should be done is as follows: a mixture of the previous two options. You fastened and secured your support boards onto your sukkah wall in the ways we explained in the first option. You then place your schach on top of those boards, and you then take the boards, other boards, narrow boards, and place them on top of your schach, as we explained in the second option, directly parallel to the boards under the schach. And we create a sandwich in which your schach will be sandwiched between the boards. Now, we take rope of any material, or preferably to take plastic cable ties, and we fasten the ends of the two parallel sets of boards to each other, sandwiching and squishing the schach in between, and we do this by each end of the boards, hence forcing the schach to be supported by the fastened boards. This does not pose any halachic issue, being that the only direct support of the schach is the kosher for schach boards. And as we've already explained, it is permitted to use non-kosher for schach material to support the support of the schach. This is called maimed de maimed. While this is the opinion of the majority of poskim, including the Alter Rebbe and the Mishnah Berurah and the Mechaber, famously the Chazon Ish was stringent in this matter, and therefore those who were stringent like his opinion do not use any non-kosher for schach material in any area of the sukkah that has to do with the schach, then the only option that would remain for them is to use kosher for schach rope material to tie down the schach, as we explain in the third option. All the above is the chatchila. B'diavad, what happens if somebody used nails to knock down his schach to fasten it, or if he used the plastic cable ties to fasten down the schach? B'diavad, this is all kosher, as the Isser of using non-kosher for schach material to fasten the schach, the Isser of Maimed, is only the chatchila initially and not after the fact. So if you saw that this happened to someone's sukkah and you were invited to come eat by them, you don't have to hesitate, you're allowed to eat in such a sukkah even initially.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.